All right, man. Welcome back to Agree to Disagree. And if you're new, welcome to Agree to Disagree. We got my boy Jay Lloyd, Coach Brian, Greg Williams, and OG Pops, and Rick James. All right, man. We got a little something different for you guys today. So we got our first guest appearing today on this show. Um, she's a member of HCE family. She's HCE trained. She is currently um, playing college basketball at Penn. This will be her sophomore season coming up. So before we introduce her, I just want to let you guys know her resume. All right. So she was 2000 Ivy League Rookie of the Year, 2020 All Ivy League, two-time Ivy League Player of the Week, Big Five Player of the Week, a six-time Ivy League Rookie of the Week, and Basketball Writers Association National Freshman of the Week. All right. So as you can tell from her resume, um, she gets it done. All right. So we're gonna have her come on, log in. Kayla, thank you for taking the time out to join us. I know being a student athlete, especially in these times, can be a little hectic. So we appreciate you taking the time to come in and join us today.
Of course, anything for you guys.
Appreciate that. Jay Lloyd, you want to go ahead and start us off with the topic, and then Kayla, you can respond to that. Jared, Jay,
Yeah, so I
good.
wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the WNBA this year. So with the WNBA and the COVID, I wanted to get you want to get Kayla's thoughts on. Obviously, with the NBA, it's a little bit different. You got LeBron's, you got Giannis, um, you got some of the best players in the world at their level still participating. With the WNBA, you got obviously Della Don can't play this year. She's trying to get an exemption. Tina Charles, who they just picked up, can't play this year. Um, so I just wanted to get your take on, the WNBA and some of the best players, obviously even the defending champions, not having their best players and some of the other teams maybe that you could think of, and how much you think it's going to affect the season this year. And should the championship be an asterisk by this championship this year because a lot of players won't be there?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree that a lot of the best players are out, like you said. Melina Deladon, Chrissy Tolliver, I think Liz Cambridge are going to be out. But at the same time, a lot of players who were injured last season are coming back, like Sue Bird, Brianna Stewart, Diana Taurasi. Skylar Diggins is coming back. And then you also have the addition of the new draft class with, like, Sabrina Ionescu. So it really depends on how you leverage the players who are going to not be playing with the players who are coming in. And in my opinion, I think that the level will somewhat be a little bit higher. I think the only reason why, I mean, I might be a little bit biased because I really like the Seattle Storm, but I think the reason why the Washington Mystics won last championship was because Sue Bird and Brianna Stewart were out. So I definitely think, obviously, a lot of players will be out, but I think the talent will definitely still be there. And in terms of an asterisk, I think it really wouldn't really matter um, if they did put it on. I think it's just more as a player. I think a lot of them might feel a little slighted because obviously as a competitor you want to win, knowing that literally that was the only outcome that could have possibly came from it. And when you have players missing from teams, there's always that, oh, if she was playing we probably would have won. But I think holistically, if there was an asterisk, I think it wouldn't really matter because everyone already knows it's pretty unspoken that this season is definitely going to be altered, obviously, with the condensed games and everything like that.
I agree, Kayla. And just to piggyback on what you're saying, even though it's a pandemic and for whatever reason players aren't playing this year, um, previous years and down history, there's been multiple times where players don't play due to injury, like you said, or whatever reason, and those championships weren't just passed through because, oh well, that person didn't play or that person didn't play. So I agree with you in that sense. Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of what I was building on. I mean, I know my girl is a Sparks. I mean, not Sparks, a Storm fan. But I was looking at the stats, man. Like I looked at, obviously the Mystics don't have Deladon, don't have Tina Charles, the Tasha Cloud, right? The Sparks don't have Chini Odeka. They don't have Christy Tolliver. Vegas don't have Liz Campaign, 6'8". She's a problem. So I do feel like Seattle now becomes the favorite, obviously, because you got Brianna back, you got Sue back, and obviously they didn't really get a chance to, I guess, fairly defend their title. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, obviously with the season going in the bubble, we got to see how all these teams gel together. But it was just a different take for me only because this is such a different year with so many. Obviously, the WNBA has people that don't play and they take time off. But just to have so many impact players, I guess, it seemed like this year that just weren't playing, was a little bit shocking. So, I mean, you made some valid points too. I mean, I didn't think about Diane Taurasi will be back. I mean, I think she's a little bit older now, but she's still a problem. So, and we can't. I'm a Sparks fan still, man. I know y'all don't really like the Sparks, man, but D-Fish, I feel like he was tripping last year. He was tripping.
Yeah.
D-Fish was tripping in that playoff game. I don't know what D-Fish was. But I just feel like we're going to be okay. Candace is still the most talented player
for sure
in the WNBA. Would you agree?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I know Brianna Stewart just came back off an injury, but
she's okay. She's all right.
Okay. I mean, if you put age in perspective, I guess.
Brianna.
They are both two pretty versatile players, so it's hard to compare them two. But I definitely think they're going hand in hand for the league's best player.
Okay.
Yeah. Jay, same way Kayla sounded a little biased. I think Jay sounds a little biased about the whole Candace topic, but that's a whole nother topic for another day. Go ahead, BG. Hold on. Let's stay on track, man. Don't get me started on Candace, man. Don't get me started on Candace. Go ahead, BG.
I'm gonna stay on track. I think Kayla put it well. I think one of the main points she brought up that actually I wrote down on my notes is at the end of the day, competitors are going to compete. So obviously injuries are part of the game. Obviously with the whole pandemic thing, it throws in another curveball, so to speak. And obviously people are looking out for their health. But I think at the end of the day, as a competitor, if you're out there and you're competing and you win a championship, you're gonna say, "Wow, I won!" Like granted, maybe you didn't have your best player. Obviously, you want to play against the best and you want to beat the best. But if you're out there, and things happen, that's out of other teams, hand. They can't really control what other teams are doing. But that was my biggest thing. Like I said, at the end of the day, if you're gonna be a competitor, you're gonna compete at the highest level, which is a pro level. Injuries are part of it. Unfortunately, I think it was not a good look for the WNBA to not. I think I just read it today that the Mystics are going to end up paying Deladon for her medical exemption. They're actually going to put her on the roster. But I think that's one of the bigger issues going on with the WNBA. I don't really think they take care of their players, and I don't feel like they feel as safe. Obviously, the NBA, it's a different market, but I still feel the WNBA can make a lot and could profit a lot. And they've done so in the last couple of years. It's kind of turned the corner. But I think that kind of goes to show you why maybe she didn't want to be there. I mean, I don't really know much about her, what she had medically. But speaking of Deladon, but, for having to read how many, pills she has to take just to get through a day, and for her to, to just tell the WNBA, well, I don't want to put my life at risk if I have to do even more. And they're kind of just like, oh, well, you're one of our stars, but I don't think we're going to be able to pay you. It's like, you got to do certain things at certain times. And I feel like, the WNBA kind of took a real bad turn on that one, not being able to do that. But like I said, go back to the asterisk on it. Like I said, I don't completely agree with it. I don't think there should be one because like Kayla said, obviously, a couple teams last year had their injuries. It's a part of the game. Obviously, like I said, this year, it's not just a bunch of injuries. It's also about, people not feeling comfortable going to the bubble. So I can see where people might agree with, maybe they should have an asterisk. But like I said, at the end of the day, anytime you're competing, you get out on the floor, you can't control that. You know, you could, like we always tell our kids, you could control the controllables, and those are one of those things that you really can't. So I think there should be an asterisk. Like I said, if you go out there and you compete and you win it, you win it. You know, that you can't really control what other teams do. So that's my take on it.
Point B, solid point. Go ahead, Pops.
Got to go to work, James. Look at you. Time to go to work. First of all, let me say, I want to thank KP. I'm so proud of you. I've been watching KP a long time since she was a baby girl, and I am so proud of you. Keep it up. When I see what you be doing, it really warms my heart because I know how hard you work. With that said, let me give y'all some popology. Look, man, KP made a great point about the superstars and the players that are not playing. But here's the thing. Sue Bird, Brianna Stewart, Candace, Diana Taurasi, Brittany Griner, Skylar Diggins, Smith. Oh, my Lord. But look at here. Those players, and she's not. But if Maya Moore was coming back, this wouldn't even be a conversation. But the problem is that, no, it would be a conversation. Because the thing
Pops.
is, no, let me tell you, Della Don, as good as she is, she's one of her chip. But we're talking about Tina Charles. Now, one thing I hate that, and I really hope it picks up speed, because these ladies got to really be starting. They got to start taking care of these ladies. They got to start taking. And the reason why I'm saying this, because you guys remember when I think Diana Taurasi broke her foot or whatever. I think she got injured. Do y'all know that team overseas paid her $1 million not to play?
Wow.
Not to play. Not. And she's like, you know what? I'm not playing because they're taking care of me. What the WNBA needs to do is start taking care of the players. I don't think it's going to be an asterisk because, I mean, man, long as Diana can still put that thing in the hole, Candace do what she do, Brittany Griner, if Skylar comes back, Sue Bird, who's always been one of my favorites, Brianna, I'm a Sparks fan, and I know is Aneka still playing? Aneka Guma, she playing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's her sister's not playing. Aneka's playing. So you know, look, man, it's going to be, I hate it, but I think the thing with Della Don is, yeah, they got her some help, but you have to, like, I think Tina Charles got an exemption. She was able to get exemption, and Della Don wasn't. Like, and I know if I remember, I think Della Don has Lyme disease. It really affects her body during the season. And for them not to really take care of her, that's wrong. And another thing, you know, these ladies, man, they got to start. I'm not saying right now, but I think the average on the low is for WNBA players like 79,000, close to 80. The big timers get 130. I mean, man, that's why these girls can make these decisions. They're like, well, I make more money overseas. And then, here again, they told Diana Taurasi not to play. We're going to give you $1 million not to play, but should it be an asterisk? Because they're under a different umbrella. The WNBA is under a different, even with the bubble condition. It's different. So I think if you really start taking care of these girls, these ladies, they'll start like, okay, y'all trying to do something. Remember, they canceled the game because these girls have to sleep in the airport and have to play a game the next day. Like, come on. No. I mean, if we at least represent us in a quality way, but as an asterisk, I think it is so many horses that coming back that like Liz Cambridge, yeah. But you talk about when you talk about the OGs, hey man, you know, and I know she old, but I still think Simone Augusta to put that thing in the basket. So you know, but okay. But this is what we're going to get. So I don't think it should be an asterisk. You know, things should go on. Thank you. Pops out. Drop the mic.
Pops always coming in with a boom. Thanks, Pops. Go ahead, Craig.
I'm gonna jump right into it and say, with the asterisk, I definitely say no, because I always use a comparison of the lockout season, because that's the only thing, the NBA lockout season that San Antonio won, that's the only thing I can really compare to what's going on, and it doesn't even come close. But it's just too many variables here. I mean, you got players out for personal reasons, social reasons. You also got, like me and John were talking about yesterday, Maya Moore, we talk about that conviction. And Kayla brought up a good point where, you know, good players are out, but you also got good players coming back. At the end of the day, no matter what kind of team you're on, you got to, play the field that's out there. So there's a team that didn't have a chance last year that has a better chance this year because maybe when their rivals is out, they got to take advantage of that and play hard. Also, too, man, injuries part of sports. I mean, we talk about it all the time. You got suspensions that are warranted and unwarranted. You got injuries. That's just part of sports. Also, too, I was going to say, every team's in the same boat right now with the pandemic. It just takes one player, one team to be affected. And I think that is the common denominator that kind of puts, everybody on the same playing field. And that's all I really have to say on the topic.
All right. I'm gonna go make mine short and sweet. Um, I have a different stance on it, only because everything that's going on in the world with the pandemic and social justice movement, it's just hard for me, even as an NBA fan, a coach, and a former player. It's just hard for me to even like encourage it to happen. Like the the hoop love in me wants it to happen, but with everything going on, social justice and the pandemic, this isn't just like flu season. This is the coronavirus. We don't really have a vaccine. We don't really know how it works. So I'm gonna take a wild stance, and I just feel like there shouldn't be any any basketball from WNBA and the NBA. But like we said, it's happening. So the NBA, like Brian said, they have more money because of the market to take better care of their players. As for the WNBA, I just feel like it's a little bit more unsafer because of the regulations that they usually have for them. But yeah, I don't really have anything to say other than that. I honestly think they shouldn't even be playing. But go ahead, Pops.
Let me piggyback. Your points are very valid and they're very good. But here's another reason, probably why we got players sitting out for the social reasons. We got these, health reasons, and like some of the players are sitting out for health reasons. They didn't just have some of the health reasons yesterday. They did have them. The social thing, reason why I think it should probably go ahead. I forget what one of the team's owners, what team had the owner that spoke against the social
Dream.
Yeah.
Dream.
So, here again, now you put players backs against the wall because they're going like, wait a minute. So now you're giving me something else to fight about because here again, you're not respecting who I am and what I do. So, and a lot of that's why, it's so tough. And that's why I think mentally, regardless whether it's the NBA or WNBA, it's going to be a high standard because of what's going on. A lot of things are going to come full circle for everything. We got the pandemic. We got the social stuff going on. And what's the one thing we hear everybody say? I play this game because I love this game. Where your love for the game is really going, stuff is going to tie in. So I think that's why a lot of players are really going like, they went hard after, after the owner of the dream. And I really think, and I'm waiting, I really think if the WNBA does play, I'm really curious to see what's going to happen when that team plays. What is that team going to take the floor because of what their owner said? So I think that's going to be a point that's in the WNBA going to go like, hey, man, we're going to use this to our advantage because we're tired of getting walked on. I mean, it's bad enough they're underpaid, but, I mean, I'm a big WNBA fan. You know, my sister has been doing this since day one. You know, and so I go to the games. I watch it. I watch ladies college ball. I love the way they play. I'm going to say it. Sometimes I can watch the ladies play longer than I can watch what the guys do because of just the way they play and how they play and their emotion. And but I'm going to say it's still going to be a fight. And the one thing about it, and I'll say this, but I don't know which way her career is going to go. But I would say, even with things going on right now, these WNBA players are fighting for a person like a KP. You know, you have to open up doors, and that way, if she goes that route, you're like, hey, because somebody got to be a trailblazer. Somebody has to be a trailblazer. And so, however, if they play, I'm going to applaud it.
Got you. And just to piggyback on my point too, to answer Jay's question, I don't think we should disregard this championship just because players are injured. If you're going to do the season, you gotta do it. Craig tells me this all the time. He was like, man, you gotta understand, man, when you win a championship, you gotta somewhat be lucky too. You gotta be lucky that all your players are there and that they're healthy and you ain't got nothing going on in the front office. So, like Craig said, I think it's just part of the game. But Kayla, I'm gonna let you go again, just to touch on any points that anyone else made and give like your final take on the subject.
For sure. Yeah, I think, the asterisk is a problem, but I think like a few of you have touched on the bigger issues, just the WNBA as a whole, because I'm glad to hear that Deladon's exemption was made, because at the same time, the WNBA is an emerging league, and they've made a lot of growth in terms of trying to grow their brand and kind of get as established as the NBA is, although they're pretty far from it. But in terms of their growth at the same time, last season was supposed to be the start of their new CBA rules, which, like some of you said, ensured players with better health benefits, and they weren't going to be second coach all the time. But then they go ahead and do something like this to one of their best players, to Deladon, saying you either got to take the pay, or you either got to pay and play, or you just don't get anything at all. So I think it's a really contradictory statement for the WNBA, and I think that's definitely the bigger issue at hand.
I think what made it worse too was when I was reading it today. The commissioner went on CNN and was like, "Boy, she didn't really know the facts. Like they're on her. You know what I mean? When they should just be like, and obviously every player should be treated fairly, right? But that's one of your dogs. You know what I mean? She's former reigning MVP. Like you got to take care, and that's why I feel like everybody's all right. Well, if you're not going to take care of one of our top players, why should I? Like Pop said, if a team's offering me $1 million to not play, I'm gonna do that, because at the end of the day, you don't really care about me. You want to use me, but then when it comes to you taking care of me, it doesn't really happen. And I, like Kayla said, I think that's the biggest issue. They don't feel like they're getting taken care of. So why am I gonna, risk my, career, for Deladon, her life, to to go play out there, and it's tough.
All right, and Kayla, I got one more question. It's kind of a selfish question. So me and Jay debate about this all the time, but I'm not going to compare the two players because that can turn into a whole another 20, 30 minutes. So I just want to hear your thoughts on Maya Moore as a player. What she does off the court, you can go talk about that first, if you have any knowledge about it, and just what she does on the court as a player.
Yeah, so I definitely think her impact off the court is just as great as it is on the court. It is obviously super big for her to help in the freeing of that conviction. So I think she's, like you said, a trailblazer in the fact that, I'm going to skip out a season to work on me and to work on bigger issues. So I think her impact is huge in that aspect. But in terms of on-court, I definitely think she's probably, for me, she would definitely be maybe top 5. I just think her mentality and the way she approaches the game, and just as a guard, I think she's someone to model after, in my opinion.
Appreciate that, Kayla. Go ahead, Jay.
This is her, Jay. This is her, Jay.
Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead, Jay.
All right, so it's not good. It's not good, Kayla. So who's the other four? So she said who's the other four players?
Top four, I'd probably put Diana Taurasi. I'd put Cynthia Cooper up there. I'd put Candace too. Probably Lisa and then Maya. That's 5, right?
Yeah, that's 5. That's 5. What's the head-to-head? Does anyone know the head-to-head matchup between Candace and Maya? Anybody?
Don't do this. Don't do
Jay,
this.
I'm just asking, man. I don't know. It's a fair question, Jay. I know you know.
Not a fair question because
I'm just really
I believe it's
disappointed
2-1
about
though.
No, we're not doing this. I'm just really disappointed at this top 5.
okay.
So wait,
just go off.
So you didn't say Diana Taurasi or no?
She did.
I did.
Okay,
that
so
wasn't in order, but that was definitely my top 5. What I said.
Oh, so it wasn't in order. Okay.
No. Okay.
I have Candace in there too.
Let me do this. Let's do this.
So we don't remember Lauren Jackson. We didn't like Lauren Jackson when she was in the league, or no?
I mean, I still put the players I had. I'd finalize.
Yeah, way to go.
Really?
Wow. Okay, Jay. We just gonna make this between you and Kayla. Who would be your top? Who would be your top, Jay? Because she gave hers.
Some wild.
I mean, I'm gonna keep this. I think Cheryl Swoops has to be in that group.
Okay.
I think we have to find somebody has to come out.
Right.
And Brianna Stewart. I don't know.
Already?
She's like, whoa. Don't do that.
Bro, it's no disrespect. I was saying already.
Yeah.
If we go, you hear KP. If we gonna put quiet in the conversation, we can't put Brianna Stewart in there.
You jumping train tracks, man. and I never said Kawhi was top 5 all time.
But that Jay, who would be your 5? Who would be yours? Who would be yours?
We heard him in his 5.
No, let's see who would be here. Let's just off the cuff.
So we have to first of all go with Cynthia Cooper.
Okay.
Okay.
We're
gonna go with Lisa Leslie.
Yeah, that's 2. I agree.
I have to put Cheryl in there. I got to put Cheryl Swoops in there.
Yeah, that's 3.
Diana Taurasi.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you.
Who's your 5th? You better not.
And Candace Parker. Listen to me. Kayla, who has won MVP and Rookie of the Year the same year? Who? Candace did that.
Yeah, I get, but you gotta look at it.
Go ahead, Kayla. Go ahead.
Not just awards.
Thank you,
I mean,
Kayla.
that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, it's about the impact too, Jay. That's your thing, impact.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Kayla.
So when you think of top 5, yeah, you can think of just solely basketball, but you gotta think of it as more than a game.
What do you say? Candace Parker, what do you say? What do you mean?
I mean, yeah, Candace Parker is a great player, and she's made her impact, but I think especially right now during these times, Maya Moore is especially on the pedestal for impact and such.
I can't. What do you want me to say to that? Like, you're gonna bring up Maya Moore, overturn the conviction.
Let me ask you this.
5. That's it.
Let me ask you this: is Maya Moore getting benched because of her play during the playoffs?
No, we can't do that.
I'm just asking.
No, that's
Are you asking Kayla that?
I'm asking anyone.
Derek Fisher should have got fired for that.
Yeah, he should have got fired.
Right after the game. Right after the game. Go home. See you later, bro. What are you doing?
Man, they weren't about to win that series, man.
But it's not about the win.
And that Long Beach State parking lot, you're out. You're fired, bro. Get out of there.
You bitch Candace, Aneka, and Beard. Man, please, least like they're like, are you serious? Like, come on, no, you don't do that. He should have been fired.
So wait, Hold on. So then, let's just get this. I know we got it. So who do you have win the championship this year then, Kayla?
Storm, for sure. They have like their full team.
Jay, that was a loaded question.
Yeah,
The pandemic is irrelevant to the Storm. They literally have their full roster.
You. Hey, I got KP. I really can't.
Have you seen Candace Parker motivated?
Yeah, but I mean, I can only go so far, I think.
You don't like Chelsea Gray?
Chelsea
I
Gray's a
do, but
problem.
I think, yeah, I'm not gonna say that it's definitely gonna be a fight, but I mean,
Okay, so KP, Lauren, I mean, no. Brianna Stewart and Candace Parker, they cancel each other out. Chelsea Gray gonna tear Sue Bird up. No? No?
Yeah, but I feel like there's more depth on the Storm, in my opinion.
I like
better,
Drew Lloyd. Drew
better
Lloyd's a problem.
coach too.
I really like
Better
Jordan.
coach.
And what about the other girl that came from UCLA? Isn't she up there too?
Jordan Canada's on the Storm too.
Yeah.
Oh, Kayla, knock it off. Ooh.
Come on, Jay.
UCLA.
No, she don't. You know, UCLA, she was a problem. UCLA, she was a problem. She was good. She was good. No shit. Okay.
Last season.
I think it would
They
be
just
very.
have more like backup. Like you can't just rely on Chelsea Gray. But you have Sue Bird, then you got Drew Lloyd, then you got Jordan Canada. There's a whole.
But KP, Aneka Gumake is a problem now. Come on, KP.
Come on. Come on.
Come on, KP. Come on now. Come
Yeah, I'm
on.
not denying that fact, but
That's all
it's
right.
a good matchup. That's all I'm saying.
That's okay. I'll see KP in the season. It's cool. Then we'll go back and forth on it. That's good.
We good, y'all.
All right, man. That was great. KP, we appreciate you coming on the show. This is, believe it or not, this is our first topic on the WNBA. So you will be part of that first hurrah. We definitely got to have you back. And one day, I know you're busy, college athlete, I already know, but got to have you back when we're a little bit more controversial. You see how Jay gets a little bit, sticks his head in the screen and start yelling at us, but my guy. But other than that, I thought it was solid, man. If you're watching this, make sure you give the video a like and state your opinions on whatever we talked about or whatever anyone said in the comments. Once again, this is Agree to Disagree. We got my boy Jay Lloyd, Coach Brian, Craig Williams, Pop and Rick, and our special guest today, Kayla Padilla. Once again, we want to thank you, Kayla. Until next time, we out.